Happy Wednesday, the middle of your week, and starting your day in a positive way, our daily feel-good podcast, the Start Your Day Positive podcast. Hey, I am Len.
And I am Sara. And boy, I am sure enjoying some of these early signs of spring that are popping up all over. But most people don't realize how quickly some of it disappears. I had a chance to see it the other day. I'm going to tell you a story you may want to go see for yourself.
And Stump Day, we play it every single Wednesday, and you're just minutes away from winning 24 Daisy Cake Pops delivered right to your home, if you can answer Sarah's question.
All right. Well, how about we start today with a positive thought? This one kind of made me laugh. Whatever you do today, do it with the confidence of a 4-year-old in a Batman shirt. Or a 4-year-old in a princess dress, whatever.
Oh, that's beautiful. All right, well, let's get our day started here today with 3 things your friends and family might be talking about.
Well, the Artemis 2 is now on its way home after its historic trip around the moon, following a free return path that will bring the crew safely back to Earth in the next few days. Well, along the journey, astronauts have been sharing some fun behind-the-scenes moments, like Nutella floating in zero gravity and just, whizzing by the cameras. They've been snapping stunning photos out the window on their specifically approved iPhones. Yes, NASA had to clear iPhones for use up in space, but they did get cleared. And who knows, maybe that's a precursor to more products being in space. And then when it comes to meals, they're choosing from 189 different space-friendly options like vegetable quiche, barbecued brisket, green beans. They aren't what we would eat here, but they're dehydrated foods, and they ensure minimal crumbs. So no, Nature Valley bars in space. Because all those crumbs would be stuck up there and floating around, and you can't have any of that. So they also have a variety of hot sauces up there. Because I didn't realize this, taste buds can go numb in space. So they have 5 different hot sauces as well. Oh, and 43 cups of coffee for the crew. I think that equaled out to, for the 10-day trip, I think I read like 1 cup of coffee a day for everyone or something like that. And then when I ran across that, a fun little detail on the International Space Station, there's even an espresso machine. It's called the ISS Presso. So you can't go without your coffee in space.
No, these astronauts, watching them now, they seem so chill. Back in the old days of astronauts, it seems so formal. I almost liken it to church, where back in the day, everybody wore a suit or a dress and a special hat. And now things are pretty relaxed and chill. And these astronauts, compared to the old astronauts, they're just up there having a good time.
It's so fun to watch. I can't get enough over on Instagram. It's hit my algorithm. So I'm getting all of these interviews where they talk about the food they're eating and their iPhones. I mean, if you haven't seen some of these selfies that they're taking with Earth in the background on these iPhones, it's incredible.
You sent me that one video clip of the container of Nutella just floating by the camera. And a moment like that can make or break a product. Have you ever heard of Tang? T-A-N-G.
Yes.
You have
I've heard of
Tang. Right. So Tang is a powdered orange drink, and by all accounts, it wouldn't be the best. It wouldn't be the most flavorful, but it was a leading seller though back in the day, because that's what astronauts on the early flights, that's what they drank. They drank Tang, and there was a big promotion around that, and so sale of Tang went through the ceiling.
This is a typical meal served to astronauts aboard Apollo space flights. Oatmeal, sausage, toast, applesauce, and in a special zero-gravity pouch, Tang, the energy breakfast drink. Orange-flavored Tang with rich, natural flavor and more vitamin C than orange juice. Energy Tang for spacemen and Earth families.
Interesting. For a moment, I wondered if it was planned. Did they have something with Nutella and they wanted it to float by? Like, are there ads in space? But that wasn't the case. And even iPhone, Apple had nothing to do with the iPhone being up there. It's what they chose and had to get approved. So, they're getting a ton of free publicity. But I did see Nutella like regrammed or retweeted, and
you bet.
Nutella's out of this world.
Yes, yeah, good for them. That's wonderful.
So it was really cool to see all that.
Well, if you watched the Winter Olympics, you saw that devastating crash that nearly cost Lindsey Vonn her leg. But is Lindsey done skiing? Maybe not quite yet. The 41-year-old Olympic champion revealed she's still thinking about a return to competition, joking that the idea really worries her family. She says the toughest part right now hasn't been the injury, it's the feeling of being disconnected from the sport that she loves and defined most of her life. So for now, she is focusing on intense physical therapy, and in an interview this week, she said the door for one more comeback is still open.
Oh, my goodness.
Isn't that something?
If that's what she needs to do right now to help her get through therapy, through physical therapy, maybe that's the motivation she needs. And once she gets to a point of healing and wellness, then decide.
You know what else I like about that is it's inspiration for other people when they're going through a tough physical recovery. You see someone and you see they're able to push through, and it's not easy, and that can inspire other people too. So I hope she does it.
Yeah, no, I think that's great motivation for her. And if you've been in a store lately or scrolling online, you've probably seen the squishy little toy everyone suddenly has to have. NeeDoh, made by a Massachusetts-based company, Schilling. It's a sensory fidget toy, and it's actually been around since 2017, but it's now going around crazy thanks to a viral TikTok and social media buzz. It's filled with soft dough-like material, and it's become the go-to for stress and focus. And not just for kids, adults love it too. Like, they're going around the offices, people have them at their desk. Demand has skyrocketed this year with sales tripling and shelves just selling out. I heard they already sold through all of their inventory for the whole year already, and they're trying to figure out how to make more. So, all these other companies are, coming up trying to be, the alternate NeeDoh. But it is definitely one of the hottest toys. You know what it reminds me of? Do you remember probably, 6 or 7 years ago, the fidget spinners?
Where are those millions of fidget spinners that people bought?
Maybe we should just find our fidget spinners and get those back out if we can't find the NeeDoh. Yeah. But I liked the fidget spinners. It had a moment. I remember I had one when we were doing the show. And I feel like one day I had a bottle of my essential oil and the fidget spinner, and somehow I had these little felt stickers, and I was able to put little drops of essential oil on the felt and this fidget spinner, so when it would spin,
I remember you do that.
It would smell like lavender.
Yeah, I can remember that in the studio where you were spinning that thing around and little flecks of lavender were flying all over the place. I should have
sold those.
Yeah, you could have sold that. You know what? We never outgrow toys and our justification for toys. And so I still can remember way back, and you've heard of it before. I mean, there was a time where pet rocks, that was a thing.
Was it?
Oh, yes. Yes, people were buying pet rocks. Yes, it was a thing. So
I'm looking this up because that just seems ridiculous.
Yes, it
Pet
does.
Rocks. There's no way. It was in a box called Pet Rock.
Yeah, it was in a box. It was called Pet Rock, and people would buy them. They would gift them. And just like these toys that adults play with today, you would be surprised. You'd get a little gift bag, maybe at the office, pull the paper away and go, oh, it's a pet rock. Looking back, it is wild. Here, let me play this for you. This is an old NBC News clip of a flashback on how they covered the pet rock. It starts off with an interview of the guy who was getting rich because he invented it.
It's been incredible. We mailed our first pet rocks to the stores October 1st, and by Christmas we'll have sold well over 1 million units. That kind of stuff just doesn't happen.
And then you'll be out of the pet rock business.
Then I'll be out of the rock business and into some other insane scheme. Or lying on a beach someplace not caring about it.
Spokesmen for the May Company say that they are beginning to get returns of the pet rock. That one woman who bought one of these brought it back saying it was moving in the box when she bought it, but when she got it home, it stopped moving. Another wrote a letter to the store saying after she taught her rock a number of tricks, the rock died, and she had to give it a decent burial in the backyard.
That has to be number one on the top 10 most ridiculous toys ever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I would like to know, Mr. Pet Rock, how much he made on that.
Oh, he probably made a lot.
Yeah.
But that's so crazy to me.
So you never know. If you've got an idea, run with it, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Having that positive impact first thing in the morning is the best way to start your day. It changes the whole tone of your day.
It kind of just calms me down. It gives me that, kind of vision for the rest of the day. Hilarious. They put me in a good mood. They really do.
You know what? You should have a good time when you go shopping. Especially when you go shopping for furniture. Just a couple of examples. You and I were at Northeast Factory Direct, and for whatever reason, you chose to just go from mattress to mattress and do swan dives onto them. and nobody said don't do that. Yeah, you were checking it out, that's for sure.
I probably would have jumped up and down on it a couple times, but I didn't want to make a scene.
Right. And then I said, you know what? Look at all these recliners. I'm going to try to set the world record for trying out the most recliners in one visit. And so we shot a video of that, and it was funny. And the point is, the team there at Northeast Factory Direct, they were there with us. I mean, they saw that we were doing. They wanted to be fun. They wanted to be a good experience for you. So if you're looking for a great selection, great prices, stuff that's in stock, and good people, relaxed atmosphere, I think it's the choice, don't you?
The best thing to do is just stop in and see for yourself. They have so many different things, from furniture to outdoor furniture as well, and mattresses. They have locations all around Northeast Ohio. And don't forget to tell them that Len and Sara from the Start Your Day Positive podcast sent you. Well, those moments you only get for about a week and then they're gone. Well, that is happening right now in the Cleveland area and in different parts of the country, but it's the cherry blossoms, and it always means a sign of spring, right? I was just in downtown Cleveland the other night, and I happened to be there, and I was like, wait, I think the cherry blossoms are blooming this week. And they only bloom for like 7 to 10 days, somewhere around there. So I went down to Wade Oval by the Art Museum, and it was so busy. Everyone was walking around. It was a little cool, but everyone was taking photos and pictures. They are just so beautiful this time of year.
I saw your video, and that's a great part of Cleveland. If people have never visited that part of Cleveland, it's one of the coolest areas, that's for sure. And you know what? That's the trade-off for spring. The weather is very unpredictable in the spring. You don't know if it's going to rain or snow or be sunny, but just the beauty of everything blooming and blossoming, in particular the trees like the cherry trees or the dogwood trees. I mean, it's just spectacular.
But the cherry blossoms, you normally hear about them in where? Washington, D.C., right?
Yeah.
That's because there's so many of them. We years ago took a trip kind of around this time, one of our listener trips, but they have like 3,000 plus cherry blossoms. That's why when you hear Washington, D.C. and cherry blossoms, they kind of go together, and they have the huge cherry blossom festival every spring. So it's just cool we have this spot in Cleveland. And I honestly didn't know that till a few years back. And that's why I always like to go take a peek at them. Lots of people taking pictures. It's a perfect picture spot.
Oh, and just so you know, I've got a little cherry tree trivia. All right. George Washington, the first president of the United States, was he a vandal? Because you remember this story about George Washington chopping down the cherry tree, and he was asked, did you chop down that cherry tree, George? And he said, I cannot tell a lie. And he confessed to it because George Washington would not lie. Is that a true story, or is it a myth?
I'm going to say myth.
It is. It's a myth.
Okay.
It's a myth. It was in a biography in the early 1800s about George Washington, but they just kind of made it up.
That's funny. There's probably a little bit more of that than we realize.
Yes, probably so. That's good. Good suggestion, though.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yay! It's Stump Day. Every Wednesday, it's Stump Day.
On Wednesday, you always get a chance to win 2 dozen Daisy Pops. They're cake pops delivered right to your door. There's nothing quite like them, and you can order some. We're good friends with the owner, daisypops.com. So let's get into our Stump Day question. You win those Daisy Pops.
All right. The question this week, people are 4 times more likely to buy this on a Sunday. What is it? People are 4 times more likely to buy this on a Sunday. What is it? I definitely agree with this. I think this is going to be an easy one.
That's such a good question, though. That's so random. You buy this more on Sunday than any other day.
It's random, but I feel it's accurate.
Okay.
I think a lot of people are going to get this one. Remember, on tomorrow's episode, we will give you the answer, but just go to startyourdaypositive.com today, put in your answer, and then, hey, you might be the winner this week for those Daisy Cake Pops.
Yes, and if you need more motivation as to the prize you're winning, go to that website, daisypops.com. You might want to order some for yourself or for a special event. They absolutely are wonderful. And we want to say thanks to Amy and her crew for being a part of the Start Your Day Positive podcast. You know what? When I'm shopping with my wife, Judy, I'm pretty free when it comes to spending, at least on cheap stuff. Like if we're going through the store and she's kind of debating on something and I go, it's only $4, just get it. And so that's okay for stuff like that. You know, if it's $4, it's $4. But when it comes to bigger purchases, like major purchases that you'll live with for years and years and years, you want to do your research and you want to go with a company that has a great reputation, a company you can trust. That's why we are very pleased to recommend our podcast sponsor, Universal Windows Direct.
Well, yes, and April is the perfect time to reset your home for the long run with new windows because it's buy 2, get 2 free right now, and there's no limits. The more you upgrade, the more you save, and you'll get 24 months with no payments and no interest. That is 2 full years to enjoy the comfort before you have to pay a dime. And they're also offering a $500 bonus off your home improvement project right now.
You know, when they come into your home, you'll probably be a little distracted because you'll be thinking, you know what, I'm so glad Len and Sara told me about this. Seriously. Have them into your home, get a quote, see if this is for you. The deal is really good right now. Get that free in-home estimate. Go to the website and get things scheduled. It's universalwindowsdirect.com, and you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Yesterday was yesterday. Today's a brand new empty page. So hit reset and start your day positive with Len and Sara.
Okay, this is something new that's trending, and I think for a lot of people, you are going to get this. It's called the restaurant gap. It first came from a New York Times article talking about relationships. Basically, when 2 people have maybe different tastes or budgets or attitudes when it comes to eating out. Like maybe one of you likes to go to a fancy restaurant and have an appetizer and, you know, have the perfect ambiance or atmosphere. And then the other person is kind of just like, I'm fine staying home and eating fries and chicken fingers. There's a little bit of a gap there.
Sure.
You know, and that's okay. One person loves trying new restaurants, making reservations, and the other person has never made a reservation in their life. Well, here's the interesting part is that these so-called gaps in relationships, well, they happen a lot, not just with restaurants. So it got into talking about travel gaps and spending gaps and museum gaps. So this would be like the museum gap made me laugh. Because have you ever been to a museum with someone who, when they go in, they want to read every little thing on the museum wall? That is Len.
Yes.
He is definitely the one that's going to take forever to go through. And then and I'm probably more like that. And then other people are like, okay, moving along.
Right. There it is. There it is. There's that painting. There's that statue. Let's move along. Right.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
So, but the whole idea is once you start talking about all of these gaps, and they're little things, they're not serious differences, right? They're little things. It's like everyday lifestyle things.
Yeah. Well, they say opposites attract, right?
Exactly. And the whole point was a lot of this can be good in a relationship because when you have 2 people who are exactly the same, you don't see a lot of differences in life. Which it's fine if you guys love the same things. That's great too. There's no right or wrong answer. But the whole point is you don't have to look at it as a negative. Maybe it needs to be a little more give and take in the relationship and balance. But when you have a partner that helps you see things differently, it can be a really positive thing. I will tell you, my husband has helped me with the friend gap. I am much more of an introvert, which seems really weird because I'm on a podcast and social media.
Right, and TV.
But I am a little more introverted when it comes to friends and my social battery. Like, my social battery gets depleted real fast. That's just my personality. And my husband's social battery is like grows bigger when he's around more people. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, sure I do. Yeah.
So he's helped me balance that out a little bit more, which is good. And I'm not sure I help him balance, but
there's something to that.
I'm sure there is something to that. I've never really thought about it that way. But do you see my point where you kind of when you give and take?
I think one of the most interesting ones can be if you have a gap in music.
So tell me more about that.
Well, one person likes a particular style of music, like maybe they were really into hard rock or metal, just as an example. The person they're with, they're a country music lover, and they're saying there's no way would I be into that. Or I've only listened to contemporary Christian music, and that's what I grew up on. And sharing each other's music interest and why you love that style of music the best, and then giving it a chance, I think that's a good one. That's a cool gap.
I think that's a great one. I hope my husband's listening because he likes harder rock. And I have opened up, and I do like Skillet and some other bands that he likes, but sometimes it's just like, okay, that's a little bit too hard. I like a little bit more softer stuff. Well, I didn't even tell you this. My girls got me my first vinyl record. They went to the record exchange or the thrift store where there's some really good vinyls at this place we know, because my family's really into vinyls, and they were like, Mom needs to get into it too. Guess what record they bought me? You probably saw I shared it.
Yeah, you shared it on social media.
Dolly Parton.
You would get
They
Dolly.
got me a Dolly Parton record. I'm so excited. But my husband's like, not my thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we're going to play this.
You're listening to this and you are going to appreciate it.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
That's
so
good.
Sometimes maybe you have to force your music. But that's a good one.
There's good ones. Another good one is, some people they like sitting around watching TV. Other people like biking or hiking.
Oh,
and if you can come together on that, right, and learn to appreciate, hey, sitting down and watching a movie and chilling's a good thing. And the other party's saying, you know what, I never used to take a hike or I never used to bike, but that's a good thing.
That's another thing my husband helped me with. I did not really grow up in a family like that. If it's a nice day out and there's sun, there is no way he's ever sitting down. He is outside doing something. He's taking a walk. It's like he physically can't be, but he grew up that way too. And I actually think it's a positive thing. But sometimes I'm like, okay, I know it's nice out, hon, but I got to get some work done. And I don't know. I just need to chill for a little bit.
It's the restaurant gap, but it's a lot bigger than that.
But it's all these kind of gaps. So the whole point when I was thinking about it was, great ways to have your partner help you see things differently too with those gaps. Well, I hope you have a wonderful day today. And don't forget, what's the answer to Stump Day? People are 4 times more likely to do this on a Sunday. What is it? We'll give you the answer on tomorrow's episode. But give your answer at startyourdaypositive.com. And you could be our winner this week. One person is going to win 24 Daisy Cake Pops delivered right to your door.
All right, we always wrap up our podcast with just a brief prayer to start your day. Earlier today, you were talking about what you called it the restaurant gap, which I thought was a fun conversation. But it was the idea to appreciate and not get irritated by our differences. Everyone's not going to be like me. Everyone's not going to be like you. We can learn from each other. So I think that's a good blessing for the day as we just say to God, Heavenly Father, thank you for how we are different and how you have made each of us as individuals and our our prayer today is that we will appreciate and value the differences in each other, and we become better because we learn from those around us. In Jesus' name, amen.